Welcome back.
Sorry,
Hello.
hidden behind the giant family.
Yep, right. Okay, so we had... No, we're not going to have any fights this time?
No ants.
There's no ants. There's no ants. Okay, so we've got, I think, 20 minutes to catch up. We've spoken to a pair of you today already. So, Isha, let's start with you. For the benefit of people who have landed from Mars, who are you? And tell us a bit about your channel.
My name is Isha Borah, and I'm a fashion content creator. So I've been doing this for around 2 years now. I started when I lost my full-time job by the end of 2020. And I created a niche because I was always like I knew that I had to do something about fashion. So I did it, and my channel, my page grew like very fast. I started from 500 followers, mostly my friends and colleagues. Then in a year's time, or 1 year and a half years time, I got around 1 million followers. So
Is that YouTube or TikTok?
Instagram.
On Instagram, okay.
Yeah.
And what job were you doing before?
So I was a content creator, as in content writer,
Okay.
for a company based in Bangalore, India.
And so you are a COVID channel.
COVID, yeah, post-COVID maybe, mid-COVID, yes.
Mid-COVID.
Yeah.
I mean,
Pandemic baby.
pandemic baby. That's the one.
Yeah.
And so now you got up to 1 million. It's all about fashion.
Yes.
And so you looked me up and down and thought, no problem there.
Sorry.
You looked at me and thought, no problem.
No,
Looking fabulous.
you look good.
Fantastic. Well, welcome to CreatorWorld, and thank you for joining us. We talked to you earlier about where you came from and the channels and stuff like that. So I think, Kallen,
Yes.
we talked yesterday, but I think we've got a different audience today.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about Slapped Ham.
So my name's Kallen. I run a channel called Slapped Ham. We operate in the sort of paranormal horror niche. It's a little bit unusual. We've been making content for 8 years, so we've been around a little while now. How we got started, basically, so I've got a degree in creative writing, and I was sort of at the end of the degree figuring out what on earth I was going to do. I thought journalism, copywriting, what am I going to do? A friend of mine was just getting into YouTube, and he was starting to get pretty big and make some good money. I'd never really heard about how you could do it. This is back in 2014. So yeah, basically we went and just bought a really cheap microphone. I sat down with my brother and said, do you want to give this a go? And basically the next day, we put out our first very rudimentary video, but yeah, we got started from there. Yeah.
And how did you grow the network? This is the question du jour. I think the two questions have been, how did you grow and how are you working with brands? But let's talk about growth.
Well, in the beginning we did quite a lot of topics, sort of just trying to find our niche. We used to do like science, history, gaming, like listicle formats, top 10s, facts, that sort of stuff. And then we did the top 10 most famous ghost photos ever taken and sort of explored the history of that. And it went viral. So we thought, okay, maybe we're onto something there. We did another paranormal one, it went viral again. So then we sort of lent into that niche completely. And then that's where we saw some really big growth from there.
And Isha, how did you grow? I mean, you got to 1 million. How did you get to 1 million?
I have to thank Instagram for creating Reels, like introducing Reels. Because before Reels, I used to create videos, but they were not performing that well, maybe because my engagement wasn't that great. But after Reels, I started noticing like a huge increase in my number of followers. Like some of my videos hit like over 1 million views or like 10 million views probably. And then I got a lot of traction to my page. And I got genuine followers who are still like there and who never left me, like they are my genuine followers, like my family they are. So yeah, it's because of Reels mostly, I guess.
And so, Francis, we were talking earlier to you about brands that you work with and stuff, and the panel was very much about successes and when things go right. We then, on the last panel, started talking about mistakes and what mistakes are made and how to avoid them or how you've learned from them. Have you again, as a pandemic baby, what have you learned from mistakes?
So I guess I want to explain first what my content is or where it lives. So my primary platform is a platform within a platform. So it's a Facebook group. So technically we are on Facebook, but it's within a private group. It's 3 million people, but it's still private. Like I have to still filter all the people who goes into the group and all the posts that come into the group. So I guess one of the challenges that I'm struggling with now is how do I continue becoming the moderator who filters all these posts and also become a content creator who takes all this data in my community and start to create my own channel. So that's the transition period where I'm having difficulty to grow. Because in the community, I do a lot of coming up with topics, doing live stream events. So because of the time that I do and a lot of back-end work to make the community thrive and have the conversation going, I don't have enough time anymore to actually be in front of a camera and really explore all these TikTok and Reels and things like that. So now, I've done a lot of experimentation when it comes to building my own team, but I was able to also talk to other content creators and they say, you will really not enjoy the content that will come out if you are not with the editing process. So you can't outsource too quickly right away because at the end of the day, you're the content creator and you know your content best. So you should still allot time to really create content and sit down with the editor and plan all those scripts. And I guess that's where I made my mistake. Like I built a team too early who are detached from what, I got them because I thought they were good at what they were doing. But then my realization is, if you want people to create content that you do, they have to come from your community or they should be interested in home content. So that when it becomes you passing the work to them, they would know the tonality of how you do things, so it doesn't feel like a detached thing, even if you're outsourcing.
That was something that happened on the last session I was on, where I think it was Vincenzo said, do it yourself to start with, so you can learn all the various bits, and that's when you start building the team. So that's very interesting. What was the tipping point for you with the channels or with the group?
So I was really happy already with the community because brands are coming in. We're really earning a lot, even with just the close group. But then there's so much more content being created by other people who are outsiders. Like one, they would replicate my community, or they will try to make copycat communities, or sometimes publishers would go to my community, look for stories, and they would publish their own stories, not tagging us. So I was seeing I have all this data or stories or people sharing information, but I couldn't, but other people are first to take it out. Because I was in the community, right? I was busy taking care of my 3 million, neighbors. And so the learning there is that, even as you're growing this, don't forget to expand because, the opportunity is limitless because there are other platforms where I can still grow my community, so.
And have you been looking at different formats? Have you been looking at different platforms?
Yeah, so one of the things is, of course, TikTok. Because we're already doing live streams in HomeBuddies, live selling. But then TikTok Shop in the Philippines is growing so big and so fast. And so that's one of the things that we are working on now. Another is when we talk about branded partnerships, usually we think about sponsorships or like brand deals. But then now we are exploring things like if we say aggregate all the content being shared in the community in a website and just put affiliate links, that's also a revenue like path that can come in. So even if brands don't really talk to you directly, but say I am a user of a product, or I can say, here are the top 10 most talked about toilet cleaners in the group, right? I can put it on a website and just put affiliate links, and everybody who clicks on that, who got interested, because there are real reviews from real people, then we also earn from it. So those are the things like in the pipeline. It's just more like it's all overwhelming for a pandemic baby who have no idea how this works.
And it's fascinating talking to you, because normally when you talk to people about brands, they talk about, yeah, I've been working with Coca-Cola, or I've been working with Singapore Airlines, and so far you've talked about ant killers and toilet cleaners. Isha, tell us about some of the brands that you, as a fashion creator, influencer, do you work with fashion brands, or how do you maintain kind of independence and stuff? Do you work with brands?
Okay, because most of my followers are from India, so I work with a lot of Indian-based designer brands and non-designer brands, homegrown brands. So apart from that, if I have to name few international brands, there will be Daniel Wellington, then Levi's. What else? I can't remember, sorry. There are few, but yeah, let's see how it goes. Mostly I work with fashion brands because that's my niche, so I want to like stick to my niche at the moment.
Sure. So what's your revenue model, if you don't mind me asking? Are you creating content for the brands, or are you writing about the brands, or?
Yes, create content for brands at the moment. That's where most of my revenue come from.
And you mentioned Levi's.
Levi's, yes.
Where is he? There he is. So this gentleman here yesterday in the marketing summit was up on stage. He's got 200 chai stores in India. Yeah. And he was dressed head to toe in Levi's.
I saw
talking about brands he wanted to work with. I said, so you're with Levi's? And he was like, no.
I think he'll be a good
a walking
model, yeah.
And they're based here. Connect them 20%. Eh?
Done.
CreatorWorld. CreatorWorld. And Kallen, I know we touched on it yesterday, but again, the kind of brands that you work with, because writing paranormal stuff, I mean, what are there some obvious brands in there?
Yeah, it can be a little tricky. We do a fair bit of gaming integrations, but we've done some fun ones with like Village Roadshow and horror movies, like Annabelle Creations. Discovery Plus did a documentary on the Cecil Hotel, which is a notoriously haunted hotel. So we did a fun integration with them. So yeah, stuff like that. I think horror movies is a good fit for us. But gaming, yeah, there's plenty of scary games that we work with as well. So.
And you were talking yesterday about how to work with the Sephora brief. Have you thought more about that?
Yeah, because it's such an incredible opportunity. We were thinking maybe we could work some cosplay angle, dress up as a ghoul or a demon or something like that and use Sephora makeup, but that's a different angle. Yeah, it'd be worth exploring.
We should have worked that out overnight, shouldn't we? We should have had you on stage
just dressed up
today in cosplay. So I think again, one of the big questions that we've been asking all influencers here, because we want everyone to be learning, whether you've got 1,000 followers or like the Jen Halley-Lenter's 200 million subscribers. What advice can you each give to someone wanting to, if not launch their channels or presence, brands, to grow? Start with you, Isha.
I think my advice will be to just do what you love. I know everyone says that, but it honestly has to be something that you love, because if you're doing just for the sake of doing something, you're seeing others doing it and so you are doing it, you may not, grow that in that speed. So best to just stick to what you love and then keep doing better in it, like keep upping your game. That's key, I guess.
Don't worry about saying it. I mean, it's true. Everyone does say it,
Yeah.
and it means it's true.
It's true. I think, yes, it's true.
Francis.
For me, as a community builder, I would use the cliche line like, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So with the community, how I mean by going far is we're no longer just creating, say, postings, but because I have a community with me who also contribute content, then we do live stream events where we do panel interviews, say, with experts in the community. So if I find that there's an engineer, an architect, and an interior designer, sometimes I would host something like this, like a panel interview via Zoom. And, that's another execution that we can offer to brands. Other things could be like them taking all the content, instead of me just creating content on my own, like, I'm not an expert, I'm not a home expert, but because a lot of people chime in and they, if you share one thing and they will share their own experience, sort of like you will find the common denominator, which of these home hacks really work, like which is a myth, and then from there, you can create a content based on what everyone else is saying. So it's like, harness the power of your followers, if you're a community. If you're introverted as well, you don't have to force yourself to be in the camera and dance those TikTok dances. Like, there will always be opportunity for you to share what you know, and you just have to find a platform for it. Even if Instagram is, or Reels or Shorts or TikTok is the hot platform right now, you don't have to go there. You can find your own niche in, say, podcasting or Facebook groups, even if it's private, and just really, don't hate the algorithm. There's really, a lot of people really like talk shit about the algorithm. They blame it for everything. Like, nobody sees my things because it's the algorithm. It's working against us. They want us to pay. But I think you just have to find the platform that works with your style of creating content, and that's how you can send your message across.
So change is good. You can keep on changing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd just sort of add to that, maybe just pick one platform. Don't like chase and feel like you have to post to everything. Just pick one that you're comfortable with, learn the algorithm for that platform, figure out, how it is best to grow on that one platform, then find your own voice, and then start expanding from there.
Fantastic. So final question time. 2023 is just around the corner. I know we've talked. So we talked earlier today. We talked yesterday. But rather than talking about what's up next for you, because we've talked about that. But what trend do you see coming in 2023 that you think people should be really looking out for? And then I'm going to ask you about what's coming up next for you, because we haven't asked you that one yet. Okay? So for Kallen, what trends do you see happening?
I think shorts will continue to grow, particularly on YouTube. Short form is just going to keep growing. All the platforms are sort of chasing each other's tail. TikTok is going long form. YouTube's going short form. So, but I think short form's going to be the way forward next year.
Fantastic.
I think for content creators, there are lots of metrics with reach, engagement, but I think brands are seeing the value of sales as a metric. There's so many affiliate programs right now, even with Amazon, even with Shopee, Lazada, Zalora, and it's all based on commission. So you have to prove to them that you are really selling things, and then you get rewarded by it. The more you sell things, you get bigger commissions, the longer you stay in their program. So I feel like because it's working for brands, because they see direct conversion, I think more and more, brands like Sephora is even creating their own Sephora squad, right? So things like that will continue to, get on with other brands.
Final word, Isha. Final word at CreatorWorld in the ground theatre, I think, as well. I don't think there's a session afterwards, but I can't remember. What is exciting for you for 2023? Not trends, not anything. What's up next for you? What's coming over the horizon?
So I have created a YouTube channel, but I am not posting long-form content yet. So that's sort of exciting for me. Gurpreet has been like forcing me since yesterday, like do it. So I think I'm moving to, not moving to, but expanding my content platform to YouTube. Since Instagram, I already have a very strong, I would say strong pillar, but then YouTube also I want to like grow, yes.
Okay, well, good luck with that.
Thank you.
Thank you all again for joining us.
Thank you so much.
It's been brilliant talking to you and hearing different facets of everyone's business and different lives from different countries. So Francis, Kallen and Isha, thank you so much
Thank you
for
so
joining us
much.
at CreatorWorld.
Thanks for having us. It's been amazing.